What's up, gang? My name is Billy Collins, and on this episode of Tipsy Tips, it's all about the old fashioned. Yes, one of the classics. But first, do me a huge favor. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That notification bell, go ahead and hit that too. I got future videos, and I want you to be a part of it. Guys, the old fashioned. Just like me. What's up, gang? Welcome back to Tipsy Tips. I am Billy Collins, and on this episode, we're going to make one of the classics when it comes to bartending, and it's called the Old Fashioned. Now, a little bit of history about the Old Fashioned. The Old Fashioned actually started or originated in the 1880s and on into the 1890s. It was called a whiskey cocktail. Cocktail was a word meaning basically just to throw whiskey, some sugar, and a little bit of bitters into a glass, which happens to be the main ingredients of an Old Fashioned. However, as time went on, the Old Fashioned fell out of favor, or the whiskey cocktail fell out of favor due to the uprise of other tastier or more fruitier drinks that came up within the early 1900s on up to the Prohibition days, where people would just come in and just say, ask for one of those old-fashioned cocktails like they made in the old days. And that's where the name Old Fashioned came from. Enough with the history. Let's get right into the drink. Now, your tools. You're going to need, of course, your rocks glass. You are going to need your spoon because we're going to stir this up. We're also, Old Fashioned is a, look at that, is a muddled drink, so you want to use your muddler. You also have your jigger that comes in. Mine is a 1.5 ounce and a 1/2 ounce. Tongs, because we never want to touch. When you're behind the bar, you want to try to eliminate as much touching of your ice or your, in this case, sugar cubes. We have a knife because we're going to cut an orange. We also have a little lighter action. Fire. Hopefully we can do something fancy with that. Also, we have our club soda and our main ingredients. Our main ingredients are a whiskey bourbon. This happens to be Maker's Mark. If I'm going to drink a bourbon, it's going to be Maker's Mark. It's a little higher end than your classic Jack Daniels or Jim Beam. It's not going to break the bank too much when you go to order it, and it's very, very good. We are also going to use our bitters to coat it. So let's go ahead and build this tasty drink. We're going to start by first taking a sugar cube right there. Place it in your glass. You want to take your bitters. Now, bitters, if you want to go a little heavy, that's up to you. I like to do about 4 dashes. Let's do 6. Because I want that sugar cube to be nice and coated. I want to bring it up to the camera so you can see where it is. Hopefully you can see that right there. Where that is once white, now it is brown. You want that nicely coated. You're also going to want to just dilute it just a little bit. Some people use water. I think you're going to get the water from your ice as well when you break that down. But I like to do just maybe, not even, maybe a 1/4 ounce of club soda. Put it inside. Here's when the action happens, people. You're going to take your muddler. Now, when people muddle, tip, never pick up the glass and do this. You want to table your glass and muddle. It looks more professional, and you can actually get down and use the table as a good sound foundation so you don't have sliding of the glass, or you can actually just break it all down into it. You just want to push and twist to break it all up. Next, we're going to use 2 ounces of our bourbon whiskey. Now remember, my jigger is 1.5. So there's 1. Actually, I just spilt the hell out of it, so we're just gonna, there's 1.5, and you want to, like I said, 2 and 2. Now, ice cubes. I like to use really big ice cubes for my whiskey drinks. And if with your tongs, you can just sit it. You don't want that to splash around. The purpose for a big ice cube is it melts slowly and also distributes the water, and the ice breaks down nicely. Take your spoon. You want to get down. Remember, always hold the glass on the bottom. You don't want to heat it up. You're going to want to stir this cocktail up for about 45 to 50 seconds, not minutes. Lift up your ice. Let all that sugar and that bitter settle a little bit. Under your ice, you can just keep stirring. Mixing it all up, you can dilute it or get the sugar to dissolve. Next, your garnish. Now, usually, typically, a lot of people like a garnish. They don't, but in an old-fashioned, I think the garnish is important. And my garnish for this is going to be an orange peel. If I can get a good, nice cut. Peel. You want it nice and big, sound like so. You want to kind of bend it this way to get the oils from the actual orange going. And if I can do this properly, I'm not really good at it, but if you just take this, you can burn it. You can see that flare. Releases the oils of the orange. Go around the rim. You can stir just a bit. Drop it right in there. Now also, you can use a lemon. I usually don't, but for example, we're going to go ahead and cut a piece of lemon as well, because some people do like lemon in their old fashions. Once again, you get you a nice big piece. You don't have to do any fancy turning with it or fire, but you do want to take and sit it behind and make an X. Some people put cherries. I'm not a big cherry person, but if you're going to use cherries, then you just place it on top. Adds a little bit of flair, a little bit of the sweetness off the cherry into it. We have a pretty sound piece of sugar cube in here, and I think that's enough sweetness for this drink. And folks, that is your classic old fashioned. Delish!